Hey, hey, you, check this out. Look at that. I got some fresh roasted coffee beans right here. Literally fresh roasted. They're like less than a week old. Got it from the local coffee shop. This is like a car payment's worth of coffee right now, folks. This is just crazy how much coffee prices have gone up across the board. And we're gonna look at today about how your local coffee shops are struggling, let alone, Starbucks has closed some locations up, but the local coffee shops are really struggling as well because everyone's tapped out. There is nothing that hasn't gone up in price and continued to go up in price on a huge level. We're gonna take a look at gold versus coffee, some of the percentages, and kind of see where those prices are at. But at the end of the day, a cup of coffee is a cup. I mean, it's a cup of coffee. We should be able to get a cup of coffee for a decent amount. Yet for many, the cost of a daily cup of coffee at a coffee shop has just become too much. And I'm not even talking about the quadruple shot frappuccino caramelicious whatever. None of those. I'm just talking like a regular cup of Joe. You're pushing $4 to $5 in some places just for a regular cup of coffee. Again, premium roast, like the premium roast stuff. But it's out there, and we're going to again take a deeper look at some articles today where they're showing everybody struggling, but we're going to look at from the actual coffee shops themselves, and we're going to look at some of the information from the wholesalers because tariffs are involved and having an issue as well too. And again, why are we bringing this up? And this is, we're talking about small business news. This is coffee shops, local cafes are, they're at the heart of Main Street and small businesses. People have meetings at these coffee shops. They are the community centers. Yet, if no one can afford to go there, they're going to dry up and we're going to lose our third spaces, which are so very important. Anyways, we're going to look at just get some information about it and then, kind of have a deeper discussion about what does this even look like? Because we're in the middle of a commodity reset at the moment. We're going to look at the numbers here. Matter of fact, before we even get into those articles, let's take a look at something I had Claude put together. My LLM. Again, for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howell. I'm a business coach who works out of West Michigan around the country. I come here on YouTube just sharing information I share with my clients, and this is one of the things that I share with them is about what the wholesale costs are at and the effects of overall commodities, because many of my clients, they're purchasing a lot of raw materials, so I'm tracking that on a consistent basis. Hey, so with that, I hope to earn your subscription. Where's it at? Right here. This. I hope to earn your subscription today. There we go. Let's use our words, Ryan. Come on. All right, so here we go. Now, what I did is I simply asked Claude. Claude is my preferred AI, my large language model, to take a look at price comparisons. Let me move my big old head out of the way here. Whoop, not you. Not you. This guy. Right here. There we go. Move my head out of the way. I asked Claude to put together a comparison, as you can see at the top here. Gold versus coffee, 3-year price comparison. Now, there has been, gold is up. And just today, as a matter of fact, it just went over $4,000 per ounce on the futures market for gold. So this number is pretty darn close to where it was at. 3 years, gold is up 142.7%. But here's the thing, coffee is up 55% in that time, right? That is, for this type of commodity that is produced at the levels that it's produced, that's pretty stark, right? And you can see things that I look at here. We're going to take a look at the overall price history, and it's on different sides here, but you can see where they've been on a relatively identical path forward since, what is this? Let's start right here. Since January of 2024. You can just see on this spot here where the overall trend has really stayed about the same. Now, yes, is there the price differences? Sure, but the overall trend has been the same. It's just been moving up. Now, this is the other spot where we can just see the difference between gold and coffee as a whole, where, gold as a percentage has stayed much, much higher as far as on this. And there's reasons for all that. Gold can be used for, it is a medium of exchange. There's all the reasons, right? But you can see they are both have been moving this direction. Again, we've been feeling that consistently within the, within the market. Anybody that's going out now, they just see that, man, this is just crazy how much coffee. So let's take a look at some articles and let's just hear what the people have to say, especially coffee shop owners and some of the wholesalers. All right. I find this information important because you're going to hear from the people who are actively trying to help, trying to help within their community. And again, that's some coffee shop owners, that people They miss sometimes. They don't understand. Like they've opened a place to be a third space. Okay. So coffee shops struggle to stay open amid soaring bean prices. Local coffee shops face a brewing. I love again this cute on the subtitles here. Brewing crisis is unprecedented bean price hikes threaten their livelihoods. And we're gonna say somebody here doesn't brew at home. Oh, sorry. This guy says brew at home. Don't waste your money. What I would say is if you want to support local business and be able to support something that's be for the community, this is one of the spots where you want to pay. But they're not wrong. The cost of coffee preparation, everything is extremely high. All right, so many coffee lovers look forward to the weather changing as it welcomes the season of pumpkin spice lattes. The PSLs are out; they are available. Go ahead and get you some. It is there. Autumn is not off to a great start though. As many Starbucks customers found signs in the doors, favorite shop stating closing was a difficult decision. Now, Starbucks last week closed a ton of stores. I mean, for them, it was a drop in the bucket. I think it was like 2% of stores, which for them, I think it was 400 total locations, give or take. And it was literally, they brought people in and closed them down. There was no great grace period or, hey, we're going to do the following. No. It was just, we're done. We're closing up shop. So there's a lot of real estate places that, that they basically just got paid out for that last year. Now they're trying to think, who am I going to have for my flagship in here? And then there's a lot of employees that were, sent packing because, Starbucks, they do employ quite a few folks. Now, again, they got 400 is listed here. In August, Trump administration imposed a 50% tariff on coffee imports from Brazil. Combine that with recent droughts and coffee beans are up 21% from last year. Christine Smalley, owner of Fort Thomas Coffee, says she has seen her costs percolating for us. This is cute. I love the way he's putting in all the coffee terminology. They've gone up about 10%. If 50% is the new tariff, we're going to plan for that, but we're not panicked. So don't get mad at your local coffee shop if you notice an increase in prices. They're doing their best. And that's so take a quick break here for a look at those. Now, that is something for sure that you're going to see where they are doing their best. When you talk to local coffee folks, they're doing everything they can to not pass prices on to, but they can only absorb so much, right? They're just small companies on here. Now, one thing I want to reiterate there is we are moving towards the next spot. We're going to look at some of the wholesalers. Is yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, President Trump had a conversation with the president of Brazil just to make sure that and start those conversations. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see those prices come down. We're going to see that tariff disappear, which should help with the prices. Locally, I can say for Dark Waters is the roaster of choice in my area. And what they did, they actually, I was talking with them earlier last year about doing a bulk purchase futures contract when the prices were down, and they locked in pricing last year for the rest of this year into 2026. So while they haven't been hit on the tariffs because they bought ahead of time, they were very, it's a good plan on their part, but it isn't necessarily the thing that you see with a lot of folks. Okay, so let's get to the next spot here. We're talking about the wholesalers. Okay, and I'm going to move me again because I think I'm going to be right in the words. Yep. One of those days, guys. This is why we do this. I do this live. I can just take care of this in place here. Now, never seen a market like this. This is from New Orleans, NOLA.com. Again, links, by the way, links to all the articles. They're in the description. Be sure to go give them some time. Go check them out, all right? Never seen a market like this. New Orleans coffee trading legacy tested by tariffs. The Maderi family coffee trading firm navigates turbulent waters with Trump's tariffs. Let's get into this here. International Coffee Corp. I know it's New Orleans. It's Materi. I know that's pronounced. It's probably like Mate or something. It's French. Based trading house owned by the Maderi family is one of the last bastions of wholesale coffee trading in New Orleans, a city that once thrived as a hub for trading the unroasted beans. Now navigating one of the most turbulent periods in the last half century history. Wholesale Arabica coffee hit a record high above $4.40 a pound, more than 4 times the price before the pandemic. 4 times the price before the pandemic. After the President Donald Trump placed a 50% tariffs on Brazil, the world's largest coffee producer. The uncertainty has scrambled the international coffee market. We've never seen a market like this, they said. 37 years. 37 years have been doing this. International Coffee has deep roots in New Orleans. They've been around for a while, over the decades. I want to get into some other stuff here. So here we go. When it comes to the tariffs, the result, he said, is curtailed purchases. They're not buying. They don't want to be on the hook for coffee at 50% tariffs when it might drop in a month. And that is the key. All right. And that's why I wanted to come to this point right here. Okay. As I mentioned, President Trump is talking with the president of Brazil. He talked to them yesterday. The prices are going to come. You know how this goes. He's going to be like, okay, you've agreed to this. I've agreed to this. And now we're going to get rid of the tariff on coffee. So this is what's happening. Nobody is purchasing because nobody wants to pay the 50% tariff now, because they're betting that by the end of the month or into November, that 50% tariff goes away. And now you will have paid as a roaster, et cetera, for product that is below market value. So not buying. That's causing a huge problem, which is going to end up causing a glut, which again, is going to affect the overall wholesale market. It's going to take time for all this to work through. Okay. Now, normally coffee bought using futures contracts cost more because they account for storage, financing, and other expenses. But today, coffee that can be delivered immediately costs roughly 20 cents a pound more than contracts that would provide delivery in 3 months, a record premium. On shipments that are often measured in tens of thousands of pounds, the price differences add up quickly. Longtime Miami-based coffee trader and analyst said prices reflect uncertainty of historic proportions, which has left everyone from suppliers to traders, brokers, roasters, and retailers reluctant to do business. And that's the thing. Everyone right now, they are planning for that drop in price once the tariffs go down. So it's really, no one wants to do any basically large purchases or futures trading when it comes to that. And that has a huge effect on everything. Okay. So at the wholesale level, things are slowing down and then at the local level, things are slowing down. And then we're going to take a look at this next spot, which I just wanted to bring up here. And here's the effects that this is all having. And this is where it comes down to. All right. We need the businesses. Starbucks closed the stores in Baltimore. Restaurant owner responds, right? I want to hear what they have to say here. With paper covering the windows and black tarps over the logos, several Starbucks in Baltimore have now closed their doors, forcing some residents to find a new spot to get their daily brew. The impacted stores are located in Federal Hill, Washington Hill, etc. In a message post online, we had covered this already, that Brian Nickel, they found coffee houses that are underperforming and also are not going to be able to grow and expand in the way that they want them, right? They want to make it more of a third space. Okay. Really what you want to get over here. They got rid of the rules. While it's unclear why the Baltimore locations closed, workers protest the decision on other working conditions over the weekend. As of Monday evening, Starbucks has not responded to any requests. Tony Asadi owns Luna del C across the street from one of the closed Starbucks locations of Pratt downtown. We need the businesses. And this is the key point here that's happening as they're closing Starbucks. If you have other coffee shops start closing, when it happens on Pratt Street, which is the main street of the city, you're concerned that I've been here for 24 years almost in doing business. Acknowledge the up and downs of business. Asadi said there are several reasons why the coffee shops may have closed. He said his business is as profitable as it was a decade ago. All right. Bigger piece here is that folks are not coming into a lot of these areas, but they're also in line with the prices. So what is the value proposition right now for you as as a consumer? What's the value proposition for you to go into some of these downtown areas, whatever they happen to be? Baltimore is one of them. I've spent plenty of time in Baltimore, where, okay, I'm going to go downtown, hopefully for business or what it happens to be, in order to get a coffee that's going to cost a ton to be in an area where, again, in this case, there's a lot of stuff with Baltimore saying where there's a lot of crime and it's unsafe in those areas. But that's one. I say that would be one example of a myriad of reasons why are we going into these coffee? Why are we going downtown to this? And that's the thing. When the costs get to the point that people start to question why they're going to these places, they're going to stop going to those places. And that's really where we've hit this apex, this perfect point in time where all of these prices have gone up. Everything else has gone up, so people don't have the disposable income. and they're having to make decisions on, do I get my coffee, go, have somebody else make my coffee for me, or do I grind my own beans and make coffee at the house? And more people are choosing to make their coffee at the house. That is what they're currently doing. And it's showing up in there. So why am I even bringing this up? Like, what am I talking about with all this stuff? Like, Ryan, good Lord, man, you're spending all this time talking about coffee. Like, it's coffee, man. We can just make it at the house. When the third spaces disappear from city centers, from downtown areas, from places where businesses exist, the next thing that happens are the businesses start to fail also, the other businesses. So if we lose our coffee shops, we lose our diners, we lose our other third spaces that, cafes, whatever. If we start losing those, it's going to have a downward effect on the rest of the businesses that are there. And let me give you an example. So in the downtown where I'm recording from right here, we have places for folks to go. We've got, we've got a mattress store nearby. We've got a big old consignment shop. Got a bar. Got a trying to think here. I've got a dispensary. Folks can get that. Additionally, we have a dog, basically a dog grooming place. A couple salons. We have all these spots. Do you know where all those people go? Minus the dispensary folks and the bar people, right? Do you know where they go when they come in? They stop at the local coffee shop because it's there, right? If that coffee shop goes away, right, because they get their coffee and then they walk around and browse the other stores. The coffee shop goes away, they're just going to start picking up their stuff or dropping off whatever they have to do and then leave. That is the biggest worry about that. When you have a third space, which is your coffee places, now you have a mass of people in one area, and it's going to help with commerce across the board. Okay, that's my big concern when it comes down to small businesses. Those third spaces, we got to protect them. So with that, what am I recommending to everyone? When you can, go to your local coffee shops, go to your local cafes, and just get something to eat when you can. If you can make the effort to, if you're going out for whatever reason, to stop and just pick up something from them, it's going to help them as we work through this commodity cycle where you've seen this massive increase in coffee prices. Because if we can just get through this, they're going to be in a better place to be able to better serve all of us when we need our caffeine. Okay, so yeah, that's what it is, folks. I'd say that's the tea, but that's not right. That's the coffee. That's the brew. Okay, so with that, hopefully I earned your subscription today, folks. Again,